How are you showing up with your brand? This is a very simple presentation, just highlighting some of the best practices that I pretty much put into practice with my brand every time I show up with it. I show up with it on my website, social media, through my email communication and phone calls. So the question is, how are you showing up in these different platforms of communication with your target audience? So before we get started, I just want to introduce myself to the ones who do not know me. My name is Martine Cadet. I'm the founder of Catterick. I call myself an images creative entrepreneur builder. Through my private coaching with small businesses, I walk them through my guidance as to what they need to do in order for them to elevate their brands and continue building a business. On my website, there's some free training, and I also have a Facebook group called Catterick Connect, where we have creative entrepreneurs interacting daily with their thoughts and questions and challenges when it comes to building their brands. So my website is catterick.com. Now let's go right into this presentation. So how are you showing up on your signature website? So the big thing is, before you even start building a website, you need to ask yourself a couple of questions. It's funny because when I created my website, I didn't even bother asking myself those questions. And it's now, after 2 years, that I'm constantly checking myself up and making sure that I have answered these questions. So some of these questions are, what experience do I want my visitors to have? They're coming on your website. There's a reason why they picked you out of millions of other websites. So what experience are you giving them? If you're giving them an experience, if any, you have to give them something. And are you going to show them your value? I hope you are. And the question is, how are you showing them your value? Again, they're coming on your website and not somebody else's website because there's something that you did, whether through your social media or a blog post or whatever, somewhere that they found you, and now they're on your website. So they saw a value. So how are you going to expand upon that value and showing that up on your website? And also, the other question that I ask myself that you should ask yourself regarding your website is, what do I want my visitors to understand and ultimately buy? So they're going to leave at some point. And if you are not catching their attention in understanding and presenting your value, they're going to leave, and you want to propose to them something for them to buy. And it's usually something that is or has to bring value into their world, depending on what industry you're in. It could be an answer to their hair problems. It could be an answer to their health problems or their fashion problems. And you have something to offer them to help them. So that's how you're showing up on your website with your brand. Next, let's talk about social media. Yes, social media, we all know, Instagram, Facebook. Let's not forget LinkedIn, Twitter. They're all important places where you need to engage when you're showing up. Your brand is a visual, okay, in those social media platforms, because a lot of these platforms are pretty much pictures, but the ones that do have videos, you want to be able to engage with those videos and always challenge, while you're thinking about your target audience when you're presenting your content. So you want to have thought-provoking kind of content that will always drive them back into your brand, drive them back into your value of your brand and what it is that you have to offer them. So again, visualize your value, and whether you're doing it through an image or you're doing it through a video, you want to always engage. And also, you want to respond back to comments, respond back to DMs and whatnot. And that's how you show up on social media. Talking about responding, emails, keep it simple. I remember when I first started my business, I had the corporate mind on, and I used to take an hour just to edit an email out to a PR company. When in fact now I realize, I get more responses when I'm myself. Sure, I'm professional, but I'm not sounding automated. There's a human person behind my email. So my suggestion to you is just be real, be yourself, be authentic, and please reply back in a timely manner. Don't wait more than 48 hours to reply back to an email. It's just the way you're showing up. And if you're showing up late, you're not taking seriously. So, and if you do have, because life happens and you have to take time and some, and you haven't responded for a week, apologize. Go back and say, I'm sorry. I did get your email, but something happened. I apologize, and answer, back to the email. And always say thank you. When someone invites you or someone reaches out to you or sends you, I've gotten emails with people saying how much you're inspiring me, Martine, and things like that. And, you want to reply back and thank the person for inviting you, thank the person for leaving a review on your Facebook fan page or whatever it is. Say thank you, because this is how your brand is all about, and that's how you're showing up. Phone calls are important too, the way you're showing up. This is where you are the voice of your brand. So don't try to be the salesperson. Instead, be human. Listen to the person. I used to be so bad in the beginning. I used to do all the talking. I used to cut off people instead of listening to them. They were calling me so that I could hear them out. And, it took me a while to learn to do that. But truly, just listen to the other end of the phone and try to connect, relate with them, and be human and give your feedback in your real voice and your brand's voice. And that's how you show up when it comes to phone calls. So, why is it so important for you to show up the right way with your brand? Is because you represent your brand everywhere you are, on digital media, social media, emails, in person. You are your brand. So, you want to make sure that you show up and you show up well. And you have to always stand on what your brand value is and why you're doing what you're doing. And honestly, guys, this is why I've been able to move around and take on projects and work the way I've been working, because I always make sure that I represent Catterick, my brand, to target customers, showing them the value that my brand can bring to their brand. And it's just vital to be very cautious as to how you're showing up. And that's just building your credibility as a person, and it's building credibility for your brand when you do it right. So again, my name is Martine Cadet. I'm an images creative entrepreneur builder. I do offer a free 60-minute discovery call where you and I can talk for an hour and just get to know each other. I want to hear you, hear your challenges, your successes, your failures, and really your vision. And hopefully from that call, I usually come back with a suggestion on how we can work through my private coaching. I have tons of services that I can build just for you, because I do believe that everybody's different and everybody is in a different level in their evolution of their brand. So that's one of the things that I offer, which is my private coaching. And you could also visit my website, catterick.com. There's free training there, like I mentioned earlier in this presentation, and we have a Facebook group. So hopefully you'll join. So thank you so much for watching this, and hopefully I'll get to see you soon.